Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, my man, James Scorza.
What's up?
Joe Marks.
Jesse is Frankie's girl.
Frank Finnegan.
What's up?
Damon Salim
So
is
with the
doing
kids.
Damon Salim things, so we've all taken bets. I got 914. Dave Yarnell's daughter, Faith, is in States. Go Faith, kick butt today. We will see. We'll catch up with Dave probably next week.
Good luck, Faith.
For sure. Good luck. I don't know if that's my phone that's dinging or not. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Let's talk about our buddies over at Philly Sports Trips. Every time I turn around now, I'm hearing more and more about Philly Sports Trips. They are everywhere. Right now, they're out in San Diego and having I'm sure they're having a blast. Coming up in August 5th through the 7th, a Dick Vermeil Hall of Fame trip. Flights, hotels, charter bus, tickets, happy hour, and much more. And if you're a golfer, you don't have to be a good one, thankfully for Frank. If you're a golfer, the Scotland golf trip, the British Opens at St. Andrews, July 13th through the 19th. Head on over to phillysportstrips.com. Tell them that your friends at Pattison Ave Phanatics and Edge of Philly Sports sent you. And if you go over to Scotland and you get in trouble, maybe you can give David Cherry a call. Workman's compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, and criminal law. Call now 610-565-0300 or stop over at www.cherryinjurylaw.com.
Does he cover international?
That's
law?
what I was thinking.
Does he? Will he?
Well, he will now.
Does he cover restraining orders, Frank? I don't know. We'll see.
He will now.
All right, no more. So, if you need some work done in your house and you would like a free estimate, give my buddy Sean Tolomeo over at SMT Renovations a call. Sean's the owner and project manager. Free estimate 609-602-0560. And the lineup, the great lineup this week. Obviously, on Mondays, you're talking Flyers with the boys over the Broad Street Bullies podcast. Tuesday, talking Philly sports with Matty B and the Fighting's final post-game show. On Wednesdays, Philly Press Box Radio. Ray Lowe and Neil Hartman were on this week. Pat Bernard, the Gobbler, boy, was on this past Wednesday with Al. Joe Sheeran was off on the Edge of Philly Sports Show. You got our ugly mugs on Saturday mornings.
Saturday.
As Billy the Helper would say. And then Sunday, you got Lacrosse, Philly, and beyond. Man, check out all the great shows on our network. Joe Scorza, do you have an event coming up you'd like to plug real quick? I'll turn your mic up. Joe is our resident videographer and band.
He's our house band guy.
Yes, he's our house band guy. I got you, Joe.
Okay, thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Yes, 2 weeks from yesterday, on July 15th, we'll be playing down at the Bar 13 in Wilmington, Delaware, for the Rock and Roll Union Summer Bash, run by the guys at Rock and Roll Union, CT McManus, and those guys do a great job. We're on a bill with 3 other bands. Starts at 8 o'clock, doors open at 7. Cover is $10 at the door to benefit one of CT's many charities, I'm sure. But
Great guy.
We're really thrilled to get our summer finally up and running again with the show up on the 15th of July. So I appreciate the letting me get on here for a second and shamelessly plug my band Psychedelic.
Always. With Psychedelic Elders are great friends of the show.
Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it. And have a great show, guys.
You got it.
See you in a bit.
Good morning, Fuge and
Fuge. What's the
and
word?
Chet out there. So, we're when Damon gets in here, other than Dave, we'll have a relatively full house here. Haven't had Frank in a couple of weeks in studio, so there's all kinds of questions that I asked last week that I would like to bounce off you guys this week.
Sure.
I would like to start with our fightings. Is this team coming back down to earth, James? Like, what in James Scorza's humble opinion is going on now with this team?
I mean, I guess the one thing I could say is that I guess that honeymoon is over. Frankly, like I said in my article yesterday, I think they're finally coming back to earth a little bit because like the last couple of weeks we all know Girardi, like after he left, there was like a huge hole that everybody was looking at. Oh, we have to be like they were kind of like they're we're worried about a little bit, like like they were I guess they were trying to play better than they were with Girardi, and I think now more than ever, I think now if they win like 3 out of 4, like they won 4 out of 5, which is unusual because they had a 5-game series. But winning 4 out of the 5 is pretty astonishing, if you ask me. But obviously, the Texas series wasn't pretty. But if they win 3 out of 4 with San Diego, I'm happy with that too. So I mean, the question is, though, I know is are they coming back to earth? I think a little bit, but not overly panic about it just yet.
Now, what do you think of Frank? Well, like,
Well, I don't think it's so much as coming back to earth and going to the stars. I think their level of competition dropped off after May.
Yeah,
I mean, they were playing. They had a hell of a May schedule.
they
That,
did.
that lineup they played May was really difficult.
Yeah,
And the Phillies are a flawed team. They're
Right.
decent, but they're a flawed team. And then they started playing teams that they should beat, and the
Sure.
Phillies did what a decent team does. They beat up on teams they should beat up on. Um, the fact that it was a coincidental Joe got fired and we have a
and
new
leveled
guy
up the team a little
that might
bit.
have gave him a little bit of a spark. But
Yeah.
with that being said, if the Phillies win four more of their next games,
Mhm.
they're going to tie their best record for a month ever.
Yeah, I think that's
Wow.
the biggest
Uh,
key.
Yeah, if they win 4 more games, they win 20 in June.
That's amazing.
Okay, they haven't won 20 games since 2011.
Hmm.
And yeah, are they hot? Yeah, the bats are coming alive, and I mean Schwarber's a big part of that.
Yeah, which is unbelievable.
he's hitting everything. That's
He's
not
hitting
nailed
everything, and I mean, we knew this would happen when they put this lineup together. That they had so many pounders on that lineup
Mhm.
that any one of those guys got hot, it would be contagious and start catching with other guys.
Right.
The fact that Harper has just been electric hot has made it easy for everybody else in that lineup.
And that's the other thing too. Ever since he got down with the injury, with obviously with the shoulder and also the blister, but
Yeah,
he's been pretty solid. Like,
I mean,
throughout-
another big part of that is in Aaron Nole's first 8 starts,
Mhm.
the Phillies did not win.
Yeah,
But up until last night, he had gone 5 starts in a row where they did.
yeah.
So, I mean, Aaron Nola is putting on a pretty good show right now, and probably should be All-Star worthy. I think.
Agreed.
Wheeler kind of fell off a little bit, but their pitching has been pretty solid. Not their bullpen. I think we can find a train ticket somewhere for Familia and get him the hell out of town.
Yeah, I
Um,
think they're bullpen. I mean, the one guy that really bothers me with that bullpen is Familia. I mean, he can't get it now for crap.
No, he can't. He can't get an out. He's like him and Alvarado. They're both gas cans.
Oh,
Joey,
yeah.
I'm gonna get to you with that question first, but Sean Kilran checks in on Facebook, says the Phils are placing right-hander Connor Brogdon on the COVID-related injury list. Taking his place in the roster will be Mark Appel. What are your thoughts on this, Frank?
They're going to miss Brogdon.
Yeah, I do too.
They're gonna
I
miss
agree with
Brogdon.
Frank.
Brogdon. I mean, he's not flashy, but when they need an out, they get it. He gets it.
Agreed.
I mean, he's going to be going now for at least 5 days. That's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to hurt a little bit. I think the Phillies, if they, what was the stats that I heard? They have to finish at least. Well, they already got this in July. 5 games over in June, 5 games over in July, 5 games over in August,
Mhm.
and 5 games over in September.
Hmm.
Will put them at like 88 wins.
Hmm.
That's not going to be an easy task.
No,
No,
I
they
agree.
can't, and because of that, they can't afford a bad month.
No, if
they-
they have a bad month, it's over.
Yeah, if they have if they finish any month where they're like 8 or 10 games under 500, it's over.
Correct.
I haven't really looked at their schedule, so I don't know if they have another May kind of hill to climb
Mhm.
coming up. I know they got a lot of games left with Atlanta and that bugaboo down in Florida. They got a lot of games left with the Marlins.
Yeah, that Marlins,
Eh,
like the Marlins, always been
yeah.
our kryptonite for God knows how long.
I don't even get that. Why is that? Why
I
is
have
that
no
right?
idea. I
That
have
is
no
the
idea.
dumbest thing.
I mean,
ever.
even when the Phillies were playing great, the Marlins gave them fits.
Yeah,
And I don't understand it. I don't
I
understand it.
can't understand it either.
All right, so Joe, real quick, thanks for checking in with that, Sean. That's quality update information there by Mr. Kilran. So, Joe, in your opinion, are the Phils coming back down to earth? I mean, obviously, with some of the info that Frank just gave about this month of June, they're not. It's just the Rangers kind of had their number over the last couple of nights. What are your thoughts about the team kind of currently, in the state that they're in right now?
I think they're not coming down as much to earth as people might think. I mean, they've always been a little bit inconsistent throughout the year, and I feel like that hasn't really changed as much. I feel like I said on the Phillies final a couple week or two ago, this team, unlike it did when under Girardi, is hitting balls clutch. So you're winning more games because you're hitting the ball when you should be. But here's where my feeling is the beginning of this season, May and June, we played a lot of teams early on that were playoff contenders.
Yeah.
Like the difficulties that this team has faced and still being in third place, still being in the dog race. This is going to be a 3-horse race. And there's not a question to that as far as the NL East is concerned. So for me, as long as the Phillies stay within that 3-horse race, they're always going to have a chance at the playoffs. But especially like Frank was brought up, is that they still have a lot of games against Atlanta. And I'm not as much worried about the Fish because, I mean, I feel like we're getting that monkey off our back a little bit. And, as far as where they're going to be in the next couple weeks and whether or not that is a telltale sign of like whether or not they're kind of the honeymoon is over, my feeling is that they are going to continue to hit the ball and they are going to continue to try and thrive towards some level of consistency. They may fall well short, but they might also surprise a lot of people, and I think that's the difference. I mean, we're all sitting here surprised of how good of a June they are already having. I mean, July, yeah, well, June that they're already having. In July, my feeling is that the warmer things get, the hotter this team will become.
Okay, yeah, well, as Charlie Manuel would say, hitting season, hitting weather.
Somebody needs to hide the calendar on Schwarber though. He doesn't need to know the month is going to change.
No.
Well,
Absolutely not.
Kruk brought something up the last time he was commentating and said, maybe we should tell Schwarber spring training's in like February.
Hey, to answer Sean Gilran's question, I think they should sit JT tonight just because of how many people Stubbs is coming for Stubbs are coming to the game because that's his hometown. And they might not be there but they said on the radio there's going to be like 100 people there for him tonight. So he should get the start tonight no matter what.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's actually an interesting thing. Last year, my wife's uncle went out to San Diego. They live out on the West Coast anyhow. They went to the San Diego series.
Saint Diego, it means a whale's vagina.
Wow.
Wow.
Rails.
It's from the anchor man.
Rails show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So but what happened was he actually Faulkner, the pitcher that we use as a long reliever / starter, is also from San Diego.
Falter.
I should know that because he falters a lot. But he's from San Diego. Stubbs is from San Diego. And my wife's uncle actually met both their families.
Oh, no kidding.
At like a bar.
Really?
Yeah.
At like a bar.
Well, I mean, did you see how many people they kept putting on the camera? Is this guy's family, this guy's family, this guy's family?
I'm telling you. And like I've said this before to so many people that if you go out to California, that's baseball country. Like Texas is football country.
Yeah.
But baseball country is California. Like those guys, that state churns out more baseball players per capita.
Yeah, they can play year round out there.
Right.
Yeah, they have 12-month seasons. So
well, when it's 76 and sunny every day.
yeah, it's kind of hard to suck that.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last night on the Phillies radio broadcast.
Like Ben Davis was saying that too. He's like, we wake up and we're like, it's 40 degrees outside. I probably should grab a coat. Out there, it's like, what's the weather going to be like? Oh, right. 76 and sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny and 75 is
Right.
what they say.
Yep.
Grab the SPS lotion. We don't want to get too burned.
Yeah.
It's like sunny in 83 in here.
Yeah.
I was seeing if Al was paying attention over there. Oh, he's paying attention. He said, "Yeah, what's going on with Castellanos? Like, why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know, man.
He's backing. It's the Ben Simmons.
All right,
Yo,
so
he bought Ben's house.
oh yeah, so I heard about
Yeah,
this.
he
So
bought Ben's
apparently,
house. Oh,
he's
God.
living in Ben Simmons' old house now.
It's Ben
The cuz
Simmons-itis.
was talking about this.
It's a curse.
The curse.
Right.
Burned the house to the
So-
ground
yeah,
and
so
rebuilt.
so now is Castellanos going to, start sitting out of games and
Oh,
then
God.
and then saying that he's not going to play in this town anymore.
Oh, my God.
Is it gonna be? I guess you can't pass up a dunk. Like,
I wrote
he can swing before the pitch is even thrown.
that's even
just,
better.
just a slump or something more. No, he'll be like Smalls when he catches a ball in the outfield. He'll have to run it in and hand it to the pitcher.
He'll run in and be like,
Yeah. Then he's a
Yeah,
Jet Rodriguez.
we'll start looking for those warning signs.
Yeah, and now do we have now
Is there a foul line
Al,
in baseball
Al,
and
if
get a-
if you're in with this, maybe we could get some help from the Delco Live crew and head on over to Castellanos' house to exercise the demons.
Oh, there we go.
No, I think you burn down the house. You get a couple things.
Well, Joey, we
exchanged.
don't want to go to jail
Joe,
for
Joe,
arson.
Joe.
No, I'm saying he would give us permission to burn down the house.
Yeah.
It didn't go well with the.
Just Al said, just send him fishing,
Just send him fishing.
deep sea fishing.
There you go.
It's great for lower back support.
It's great for the back.
That was
See, now this is
That was a PSA from the.
Yeah, well,
I need my Ben update from Dave. I'm tired of giving the Ben updates.
Ben Simmons
Dave.
must have the bends because he hasn't come back up from fishing
Oh
in a
my
long time.
God!
Yeah.
Deep sea fishing. How could nauseous even thinking of?
All right. Now, contemplate this if you're a Brooklyn fan. If Kyrie wants out,
He does.
and if he goes, KD is not
He
staying.
gone. He gone.
You're gonna be stuck with Ben Simmons.
It's going to be.
This is what they wanted, Ben. Chris. This is what they wanted.
It's going to be.
Exactly.
Pardon me for Benny and the Nets.
Pardon me for being a little bit gleeful.
It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic.
Why am I alone up here?
I got some.
Why are you
Sixers
so
stuff.
lonely?
I got some Sixer stuff I want to touch on now, and he was going to go from not having to be in the spotlight and everything to this is now your team.
That's right. Yeah.
What?
Like he'll be
Benny in the
disco-
Nets.
He'll be the disco ball.
Yeah. Oh
There's
my
also
goodness
a Mr.
gracious!
Lonely.
I like Benny in the
Back
Nets,
in the
by the way.
Yeah.
What?
I'll take credit for that one.
Yes.
And all right. Well, we're gonna do Sixer stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will definitely get into the Sixer stuff. So, with what we've seen in the month of June, is it a flash in the pan? Is this legit? And does this team have a legitimate shot at the postseason? Just because of how they played in the month of June, are we taking their whole body of work? How do you look at this? How do you assess this situation?
I look at it. If their starting pitching stays consistent like they have been, and they can find a way to figure out the bullpen without using Familia or Alvarado, Sir Anthony's got to be the closer the rest of the year. There's no two ways about it. They should have given it to him to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
If they can figure that out, I think they're gonna get a wild card. The division's over unless the Mets really met. But the problem with the Mets really metting is Atlanta's right there.
Right.
Or Atlanta will take the division again, and Atlanta doesn't. Atlanta. All they do is win.
Atlanta doesn't met.
Right. Atlanta doesn't met. But I'm kind of like getting my popcorn ready because I know after the All-Star break, the Mets are going to die.
Muff the Fets.
And they're going to get everybody back, and I just see them collapsing. I just see it happening.
James, do you think this
It's wishful
team-
thinking.
Very wishful. Do you think this team has a legit shot at making the postseason this year? If so, why?
If they play the way they do, have they been playing? I think they have a good shot. I wouldn't say obviously for the division or maybe for that wild card, maybe this first or second wild card, maybe. But if they make the playoffs, I think it'll be a good accomplishment for the next season after that, because similar to the Eagles when they made the playoffs, now they're going to try to make the push to try to make another step into the right direction. So I think, you got to get there first more than anything.
Yeah.
And the one thing you have to do for more precisely is that you have to win, like you have to win series, like you said, Frank. Like if they start to struggle, it's gonna go downhill after that. After that,
Gotcha. Joey, does this team, don't laugh before I ask you the goddamn question. Does this team have a legit chance making the postseason?
I'm gonna
In your most humble opinion?
look. I went on Phillies final and I made a bold prediction, and that's what I tend to kind of do. Put my foot in it, but
You don't
I'm gonna stick with what I say because I don't necessarily always back down from what I say. This team will win the division, and
Wait. This the division this season?
correct,
The Phillies.
correct.
Yeah, and I just okay.
where am I?
That is a there's bold predictions, and then there's like busting through the wall like the Kool-Aid guy.
Look, I understand you're a homer, but man, Jesus.
You realize they got to play like 780 ball to do that.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Can I?
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
go
I
ahead.
apologize.
Okay.
We're all
No, no.
waiting to hear this.
So, the reason why I feel this way is because the majority of their games that they have left against Atlanta is towards the end run of the season. So that means if they're within 5 or 6 games, and Atlanta, like you said, what the Mets doing what the Mets do,
Right.
and Atlanta and the Phillies go 1 and 2, and they're separated by 5 or 6 games, and they have like I don't know 14 games left against each other. I think there's a big chance that all they have to do, they don't have to take every game. They just have to take series from Atlanta. And my feeling is that's attainable, especially if you're hitting a stride with your hitting. Like I said, there's consistency when they want to be consistent. And this clutch hitting is giving me a little bit more pause to this team than it did when Girardi was managing. Because for me, it was like, when we were down by 2 runs, I had no hope with Girardi at the helm. I had no hope. With Rob Thompson, we're down by 2 runs. I mean, even last night we lost by 1-0, but we had the bases loaded. It wasn't that great of a game, but I always had hope. Like there's always that chance. And when you always had that chance, you always have a puncher's chance of actually doing it. So for me, and I've said this before, Atlanta's going to stay hot, but I feel like it's such a long season. They have to have a lull at some point.
But when I say the Mets are going to Met, I don't think the Mets are going to fall through to the basement. Okay.
No, I think they're going to fall to 3.
Yeah, I don't. I can't see
That
them.
would be an epic collapse.
Yeah, that would be a catastrophic collapse. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. The Phillies don't have enough games left with them. They're 8 games behind the Mets now. I see Atlanta taking that spot. I see the Phillies climbing into that extra wild card spot, but I can't see.
So if the Braves overtake the Mets, then
Right.
you're saying the Phillies are stuck in 3.
I can't see them. I just they have to play. They've got to play 700 baseball. And
man.
and they don't have that. They don't have.
What's their record for June right now?
Okay, you had a good month, and I just got done telling you that they haven't won 20 games in a month since 2011.
Right.
So you're telling me they're going to have to duplicate this for the next 4 months?
Well, no, it's 3 months, and what I'm saying is that with this team, they're showing that they're here to play.
I love you, man.
And
I truly do.
here's my other feeling. That the way that you yourself even said it, they had a harder schedule in May,
Yes.
but in the next 2 months, they don't. They play bottom feeders.
Okay.
They should beat those teams.
They
correct?
should. They should. Should is a big word.
It is.
You know, I mean, you can't. Nobody maintains this kind of winning in a
Yeah,
month.
Unless you're the
You're-
San Francisco Giants or the LA Dodgers.
You're talking,
and
you're
they don't
talking
have that
about-
kind of talent, Joe. You can't tell me that they do.
Yeah.
They do not have that kind of talent. They are not the Dodgers. They are not the Giants. They're not the Yankees.
Well,
They're not the Braves.
I think they're the Giants. I don't think they're the Dodgers.
I'm not
Yeah.
not ganging up on you, Joe, but like something that hasn't happened in 10 years,
It happens
happening
once.
Well-
and actually, they haven't attained it yet. They still have to win 4 games in June to match that record,
right.
and they haven't gotten there yet. And now, that being said, they've had a great month.
God damn
And
it, Joey. I love your balls.
You know, I mean, this is another
They're
this
wonderful.
is another wear the Dallas jersey moment, Joe. I
Please,
mean, I love you,
nobody
big fan.
isolate that sound drop, please.
Yeah.
But because that is a bold
Yes.
prediction with a
Nah,
capital P.
he loves his teams deeply, just like the Hertz conversation last week.
If this comes to fruition,
Yeah.
I'm not hosting for like a month after.
Yeah, I know.
I'm letting somebody else host because like the smile on his face alone is going to make me want to leave the studio.
No, I'll be happy for him if he.
I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All of us would be happy
Damn
right.
because we'd be celebrating a red October.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just our job in here to kind of,
I'm trying to be objective.
yeah. And but if you don't,
Not that
you
you're
know,
not objective. I mean, you know, but there are moments that you have that just baffle me sometimes.
I mean, listen,
we all say some shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes.
would you not agree that this is a 3-horse race
in
for
this,
the division?
yeah,
Okay,
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that phrasing in of itself says that any one of those 3 horses can win the race.
And listen, they were 9 games back of last time when they went on this run. So anything is possible.
Yeah, anything's possible. Now here you go. They were 9 games back. They're 16-6 in the month, right?
Yeah,
And they're 8 games back.
they're 9. No, they're 9 games back.
They're back to because they lost last night. They lost the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So they just had a 16-6 run, and they haven't gained any ground, which means they treaded water playing absolutely awesome baseball. That's you have to look at that, Joe, and go, okay, that's a barometer I got to pay attention to. You know, because that means the teams up top are not relenting. My Mets being the Mets is wishful thinking. You know, the Mets are equipped to just walk away with this division
So,
by the middle of August.
the question you really have to ask yourself is, out of those 3 horses,
Uh-huh.
which one is sustainable for success in the long run?
With complete objectivity,
Hmm?
both the Mets and Atlanta are more set up for sustainability than the Phillies are, and that's simply because on a basis of talent. The Mets have phenomenal pitching, and they have a damn good lineup. And top to bottom, Atlanta's a better team than the Phillies. Top to bottom, there's just no 2 ways about it. You know, the Phillies are really
they're the champs.
the-
I
the-
can't
the-
argue that.
the
They're
Phillies. The
champs.
Phillies are really missing Segura because they're missing his presence in the lineup. Who, by the way, said he wants to finish his career here, which I thought was really cool from a guy who has always been a problem everywhere he went except for here.
Hmm.
You know, I thought it was pretty.
Well, I mean, there's something special going on in that clubhouse.
Yeah, look, I'm not denying that. I completely believe that there's something there. There's
And
something there.
I have feelings, and so like the other part of your question, Tom, was if they make the playoffs, like, do I feel like they could go far? So if they win a division, clearly they're going to go into the playoffs. But if they go into the playoffs, this is the way I feel. I feel like it's going to be like an 07 season. I feel like they're gonna make some noise, but then they're gonna sputter.
Was 07 when they smacked the Rockies in the opening series?
No, the Rockies smacked
us.
The
them.
Rockies smacked us in 07.
Yeah, and then we got them back.
Then we
next
got
year.
them back in no. 06 was when they smacked us.
Yeah, 06, 07. That's right, because that was
Is that the
07 was
Brett Myers hit?
no, that was the Get Me to the Plate Boys
Yeah,
Right.
series.
yeah.
Get Me to the Plate
07
Boys.
was, I think Brett Myers was the closer, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was the one that had like a hit, and he was like playing on the first base, and he was like, "I'm hitting like this."
No, I think that was 2008
Okay.
because that was the same series. I think it was the series after he took CC Sabathia to school.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, like that's what this season kind of reminds me of a little bit. Is like that 07 Phillies that.
Well, if
Yeah.
that's true, and they're starting to get a feeling like that team, then the future for this team looks really good
Yeah.
because,
Agreed.
like I said, they're a flawed team, so there's things they have to fix, and there's probably faces on this team that are good players that are going to have to be traded.
But you could say that about the 07 team too. There were flaws.
Oh yeah, but they addressed those flaws and they fixed them.
Yeah.
What kills the Phillies is they got nothing in the minor league to help them over a hump.
If
where
this
they need
is
a piece.
if this is the 07 Phils, who on this team would have the cojones to say we're the team to beat? Because isn't that the year?
Ooh, that's a good one.
J-Roll said it the year before they went and won it, right?
I got to go with MV3, baby.
You know-
Like he's got the balls and he can back it up.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't
doesn't
give
do
bulletin
that.
board
No,
material.
you know who that would be? And he hasn't been here long enough.
Castellanos.
No, I would say Schwarber.
Schwarber.
Yeah,
Schwartz.
I would say Schwarber.
Schwab.
I would say Schwarber.
And here's the thing, Schwarber. Think about this. This is a guy who's already won a World Series.
Yeah.
Like you got.
Well,
a
he
guy,
knows what he's looking at if he sees that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you can't back that guy down when he makes that kind of statement. But
Yeah.
this is a team that, for me, there's a nucleus. And like I'll even go one step further. I know that there's a lot of people that feel some kind of way about Reese and JT, and they have every right to feel that way. I'm not completely like on their fanboy train anyhow. But that being said, if JT and Reese are hitting and Castellanos is hitting, if all these guys start like knocking the ball out of the ballpark and they all start clicking, this team just looks super scary to any opposing pitcher. I mean, the guy that they just faced on Thursday night in San Diego.
Yeah, he's a hell of a pitcher.
The guy had a
Musgrove.
1.5
I know.
1.53 ERA, and he hadn't let up a home run. He gave up 2.
Yeah.
And his ERA, because he's an innings eater, went up to a 2.3.
It was like when they played Milwaukee and
Right.
took Hader yard twice.
Right.
I mean, nobody saw that coming because Hader. When was the last time Hader gave up a home run before that series?
This is why I'm saying like this team has some of these like moments that you kind of go,
Yeah, but they also have moments where you go,
yeah. Usually that comes from the bullpen.
Yeah, usually when you see that
When you see Brad Hand or Familia come
actually,
out.
I think Brad Hand was overused a little bit, and I think he's just a little tired. I think Brad Hand's okay.
Well, and I mean,
he is not familiar.
Familiar is
no.
god awful.
But here's the thing with Alvarado. I mean, last night he pitched a 1-2-3 strike him out inning. So like, okay, but with Alvarado, has he fixed everything? No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No, because I still don't trust him.
If I was a batter, I'd be terrified of this pitcher.
And then you have $10 million guy
he has
with
no clue where his 100-mile-an-hour fastball's going.
$10 million Corey Cardiac Knable. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
You know, you pay that guy $10 million to be your closer.
I think there's a physical problem with him.
Physical.
No, I mean,
I think he has the mental issue.
No.
I think we got the wrong closer.
I think
we got Canadian.
No, I think there's an injury problem with him.
So then I'm going to say something real simple. Fix it. Fix it.
Simple enough.
Okay, fix it. If that's your simple solution, then why is Harper still playing? Because they.
That's apples and oranges. That's an MVP, and that's a closer that hasn't been proven.
Okay, no. But my point is, he's going to need surgery.
And Harper?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get to the end of the season, and he gets surgery. Guess when you get him back?
June.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably July.
Maybe.
So what's your lineup going to be like if you got no Harper for the first 4 months of the season? You can flush next year down the tubes. No, they're robbing Peter to pay Paul here, and I don't think it's a serious injury for Knable, but I do think there's an issue with him. They somebody had mentioned that it was. I think it was
it probably was Ruben Amaro because he's always the analyst there. Doing that. Like
I don't know whether it was Ruben or whether it was Ricky.
Yeah,
but somebody said that there's something wrong with the way he's throwing, that he might be.
Well, I mean, so then you put a guy in that's hurt and he's hurting your team. That's not
well when your option is Familia.
Oh well,
okay. See what I'm saying? There's flaws.
I'd rather go down.
They're not perfect.
I'd rather go down and bring back up Francisco Morales. Because
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Because I would rather I trust him more than I do Familia at this point.
I would trust me more than Familia, and I can't. And I have a completely rebuilt shoulder.
I would choose me. I would choose me with JT with a beeping glove.
Right
at this point. Throw towards the beep.
JT, a little more than there. You go. You got the spot. Okay, catch it.
All right, now we got it. We got to transition out of this one now, Joey. I could see you out there with a beeping glove.
No, JT's got the beeping glove. I'll be throwing towards the beep.
Right.
All right, I misunderstood.
Throw to the beep. Just hit the beep. Back.
There has been some news on the basketball team front. Exactly what that news is
Oh boy.
Incomplete is what that
spotty
is.
at best.
Yes.
Incomplete. It's not spotty. It's incomplete.
So DeAnthony Melton. I did a little research. I looked into him. It's not, I mean, flashy by any means, but what in your opinion will this guy bring to this team?
Better consistency than Danny Green.
Better bench player.
Yes.
Much
Yeah.
better bench player.
Much better bench.
On the ball defender. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
He averages 1 steal a game. He was one of the better bench players on the best bench in the NBA last year.
And he's 12 years younger than Danny Green.
And he's a 24-year-old that has 4 years NBA experience with playoff experience.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that there wasn't that's not a bad deal at all.
I didn't think it was a bad deal.
We all knew they needed depth.
Would you have gotten at 23? Would you have gotten a player better than Melton?
No, I don't think so.
No, you would not.
No, you would have had somebody that you would have had. It would have been work. It would have been a project.
Yeah.
And Maury made it very clear they want to win now.
Yeah.
Look, there's a log jam with the youth that we have in this organization because you had Springer that you drafted last year. You barely even used.
Yeah, he's a
This
Jason.
is Irish Smith for this team, looks like.
Well, I mean, you have him. You have Paul Reed. You're trying to find a spot for. You have Isaiah Joe. You're not sure if you want to play him or not. So you have this like log jam. They weren't going to draft somebody in my mind. They just weren't because you're just adding to that log jam.
They're not at a point as a team where infusing youth is going to work.
No,
They're at a point where they need
guys that can play.
They've got 3 years left. They've got 3 years to get this done.
I really don't believe that, but
I don't believe that either. I mean,
in my opinion, I think it's less than that.
Well, I mean,
think it's
I'm being optimistic.
half an eighth.
I'm being
Maybe
well.
half,
I mean,
maybe.
I'm being optimistic, and you know what? If JoJo can get through, I mean, JoJo played the whole season really without injury until he got to the playoffs and he got banged up. And
it all accumulated.
He got his eye busted and he tore ligament in his thumb. They're both of them freak injuries. It wasn't like injuries from wear and tear play. They were freak injuries.
And I'd like to go back on the record and say that because of those freak injuries, the guy still played.
Oh, he still muscled up, man. He still played. He did. Now, look, if JoJo is in the best shape of his career and he plays another season like this, then yes, they do have a 3-year window. Okay. The question is, how are they going to fill their need to get them over the hump in that 3 years?
Here's why I don't think we have a 3-year window. Because if they get bumped again in the second round or don't make it to the second round, and JoJo has another year like he had this year or something close,
right?
I'm worried
that I want to trade,
that he's going to want out.
Okay, well, you know what? If it gets to that point and they get bumped in the second round again, then it is time to flush it, and then you trade him. You trade him at his best value. You could really rob a team blind for JoJo's ability. You could absolutely pick their pockets and say this is what we want, and they'll give it to you because he's that good. I mean, you can't deny that he's a top 5 player in the league.
Absolutely.
I
just don't want to lose him.
No, I don't want to lose him either. But I mean, I was getting to that point that if they don't achieve this, like say next year they progress and get to the conference final. Okay. Then there's some hope. Okay, we got to
right.
Back
We're on the right track.
We just need this piece here, this thing. If they do a one and done again, like they did this year. Sorry, but it's you got to break it up,
right? And that's my point. That's why the 3-year window. I would agree with you if there's progress shown.
Yes.
If there's some sort of progress shown. I'm just the pieces that are being moved around right now, and I'll get into some of these other rumors. But now PJ Tucker, 37 years old. What is it? 3 years,
He'll be
10
38 before the year.
Yeah, 3 year, 10 mil a year. For someone who's 37 years old, who I mean, what? And I mean, got glaring. It's almost like they would have to go get him because of how Embiid backed him. and
Well,
the
the problem with
presser.
that is that the Sixers only have 6.7 under the exception.
Right.
Um,
So what do? You got to move. Who are you
somebody's
moving?
got to go. Somebody's got to go.
Now, what do you move Tobias Harris to make room for PJ Tucker?
No, you move Tobias Harris. The only way you would move Tobias Harris is to get another max piece.
Right.
You can't drop Tobias Harris's
Well, at that
max
point,
piece and then fill it with.
it's salary for salary. You would have to. You would
Yeah.
have to, unless some.
I
team
mean,
has under.
I would love to see them get him.
Mm-hmm.
Simply for the factor that it would absolutely strengthen their bench again. Because their bench was like pitiful. You can't come back with
when
that
Curry
bench.
and Drummond left. I mean, well, Curry, but when Drummond left, like you lost. Now it's a big time bench piece.
Yes, you
for
did.
you.
Now, if they're gonna address their needs on the bench and do it significantly, you're gonna have to do something that you might not want to do. And as Sixers fans, you might not want to do this. You might have to go to Harden and say, "Listen, we need to negotiate that contract. We'll give you 2 years, but we need that number to come down for this year so we have some wiggle room."
He has said that he would.
I know he
you
did. I
He
know
left
he
it
did.
open.
But the problem with it is, yeah, sure. I'll come off that number. I'll make, but you got to give him years.
The only
Yeah.
way that can happen is if he declines the option and then they renegotiate.
Well,
And
he's already accepted the option,
Already
but
accepted.
so then they can't change it. It's in
no,
the
they can
contract.
no, but he can always come in and renegotiate. It's
Right, but that number won't change if he accepts the option. It's already in a contract.
But that means there's 47 million for one player on the books, and if he comes in and renegotiates, say down to 30 million,
Right, but what I'm saying is you can't. It's already in a contract. The option is part of a contract. It's not like NFL where you can, when you're under a contract, all contracts in the NBA are guaranteed.
I get what you're saying,
But
but
the one thing I worry. I'm sorry, Frank.
but are you telling me that he can't go to the Sixers and say, and they're saying, look, we're going to give you an extension. Let's renegotiate this. And once it's
Then he would have to decline the option.
okay, that's fine. But
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but that's $47 million on the budget now.
Right.
You negotiate it down to
But
maybe
that's what I'm saying.
31 million.
He would
Which
have
would
to,
leave them 15 million
if
or
he's
so to play with.
accepted the option, if he's already signed the option, then they're locked in.
Right.
If he can decline the option still,
I still think it's his option no matter what.
if he can decline that option still, then yeah, that can happen. But the problem is,
But wait, so if him and the team want to do something, if him and the team both are in agreement, you can't renegotiate.
no, so it's a player option. So if he accepts the option and signs it,
It's ironclad.
then it's ironclad because that option was built into the original contract.
So if both parties want to
Renegotiate
that,
he would have to decline the option, and then
Okay, it's
negotiate a new contract.
so it can be that option is there for him. The Sixers can't do anything about it. Only he can.
Right.
He can turn to them and say, "Okay, look, I know it's 47 million. I know we have needs.
He could
I'll
turn up
come in.
the option, and
I'll tell you what. I'll come in. You give me 3 years at 30 million a year, and we're good."
right. You
Okay.
can say that.
Now, if that would be awesome because he would have to do that to give them the wiggle room that they need.
Because he would be
So-
considered, if he declines the option, he'd be considered a restricted free agent, not unrestricted. Like unrestricted means anybody can go after him.
right?
But he'd be a restricted free agent where if someone else matched our offer and more, they would have to give us draft picks compensation.
Yeah, they would have to
Okay.
get
Yeah.
and because he's the player he is, it would not be second rounders.
No.
No, it wouldn't.
So I mean, that's the thing is it would Harden do that? I'm not sure. And here to go back to the original question about PJ Tucker, he's not the answer. And,
Right.
and like for me, it's a non-starter because for me, it's like I said this when we had Drummond, I said this when we had Howard, and I don't. I mean, we need a backup center that is more than serviceable for Embiid because on that bench, if you have Embiid come out and we're up, you need a guy who's a glass eater that's literally a glass eater and a rim protector that's going to allow that other team to have to shoot. Because when Embiid's there, that's what everybody has to do. But you got to think, can a bench in the NBA outshoot through the whole game? Probably not. I mean, there's probably a handful of teams that have a bench that can shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing. If you force a team's bench to have to shoot, because if you look at some of those games, that when the bench came in, what did they do? They started driving, they started getting fouled, they started kind of doing stuff that they just shouldn't be able to do. The Miami Heat was the anomaly because they would have these guys come off the bench like Joe Blow 1 and Joe Blow 2, and they would just shoot the lights out.
Yeah, but they play like that all year long though. Their
No,
bench,
I get that.
yeah, their bench is solid. Their bench is really
But
solid.
there's a handful of NBA teams.
Yeah,
that
there's
are
only
like
a couple teams that are like that. Well, the NBA does it stops teams from stocking people like
that.
that. And usually what happens is those guys perform so well, they get sucked up in the offseason and fill somebody else's bench. That's usually what happens. You can't maintain a good bench like that 2-3 years in a row. What's up?
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
What's up, Dame? Oh, what time is it?
Dude, I apologize.
Don't worry about it.
What time is it?
Nah, I saw y'all ripping-
9:47.
Yeah.
Damn, I was all by.
We were. It's like
If you're traveling down Center City, don't go.
If
so.
you're traveling where?
Down Center City, don't go.
Don't go.
Instructions everywhere. I couldn't even get on the express.
No worries. No worries.
But
No worries.
Let's
my
get your
friend.
mic on. Let's get you set up.
here's my feeling with Tobias and the idea of a trade. It's what are you going to get back? What are you willing to give into? So if you go and I brought this up plenty of times, and I thought with all the movement that OKC did in the draft night, that I thought Tobias might have been going because I mean OKC was moving with the Knicks and OKC was moving with the Pelicans, and I'm like, okay, they're really trying to do something. Between them and the Rockets, they really, OKC, the Rockets, I think Memphis, like they really made out in the draft. But like when Tobias didn't get traded then, I don't think he's gonna get traded at all. I just don't. I think that was your window and it's gone. Because at that point, OKC's like, okay, these are just pawns. These are just pieces.
You got to slide to your right, Dame.
There you go.
These are just pieces that we're drafting. But Tobias Harris is a mainstay.
There we go.
And I feel like if they walked away from that theory, that thought,
Perfect.
then they're not going to do it now.
Well, I still think there's plenty of movement to go on in the offseason.
I think
they-
it's going to get really stagnant.
If they roll it back with Tobias, this team's done.
Why? So first of all, hey guys, how you doing? Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
No
I
worries.
miss you guys.
Yeah.
You're looking great over there, Frank. Why?
I don't think Tobias has it.
Well, okay. So when you say you don't think,
I don't think he could. Let me put it this way.
Mhm.
I don't think he completes the team the way the team needs to be completed. It's not so much Tobias. I think Tobias is a good player.
Mhm.
I don't think he works with this team.
Think he's a better actor? You seen him in Hustle?
No, I didn't see Hustle yet.
You haven't seen
What?
Hustle
You
yet?
haven't seen it?
Oh,
I'm a
Dame.
late
Oh,
bloomer.
man.
Dame.
I'm a late bloomer.
I'm
I've
telling
seen
you.
it 3
Oh,
times.
you're kidding.
I've seen it 3 times.
So you should see it.
It's worth it,
You
Dame.
should see Joey staring at me like he wants to kill me. No, I will. Listen, guys, listen. I had a lot. My son turned 18, graduated high school, had a prom party. So I'm going to sit and watch it.
Been busy.
I've been very busy.
Understood.
And happy
Understood.
belated
Good,
birthday, TK. I'm happy.
Happy birthday,
thank you.
TK.
It was my birthday the 13th. We're Gemini, so we're both
Yes,
close
sir.
in our birthday. So, but so Tobias. So here's the thing. I disagree with you. Here's why I say that about Frank. Here's a guy who had to change his role one time when Butler and Redick was here. Then he changed it again that next year with the Horford deal. Then he changed it again when Harden comes in. And to me, he's only doing what they're asking him to do, and I think he's doing it well. I think people get so hung up on the $37 million.
I don't care about his money.
You may not, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And so
No, they do.
and so when you look at the way the team is constructed,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, I had a conversation with my buddy Bill about this a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And he said something real potent. He said, everyone wants to move Tobias, but Bill, right? Bill gets hurt. Tobias stays healthy.
Yeah.
He's reliable. And when he plays, right? No, is he giving you 25, 26, 30 a night? No, because we have big fellas who do that. But he gives you a consistent 20, right? He gives you a consistent 9 to 10 boards, and he's gotten better on his D. Like moving for who, and then is that person going to give you that and some? That's my thing. To move him to say, okay, he's not giving me 30 points. Okay, well, everybody can't score 30 points on that team.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
I think, I don't know whether you guys are going to touch on this, but this really depends on what happens in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this is what I think,
I have it written down if it's what I think it is.
If Kyrie goes,
oh, come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
dude.
I'm about to piss this boy off.
Please,
Yeah, let's
don't
get
do-
it.
If
Yeah,
don't do
Kyrie
it, Frank,
goes,
please, I'm begging you.
if Kyrie goes, and KD wants out,
Mhm.
I want KD.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that was
I feel
pleasant.
better.
That was pleasant.
Nah, he's not done.
I'm not done.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, he's not done.
stop! Just stop. You
No.
already have me.
Well,
Stop.
okay.
He's not done. He's
Had
going
me
to
at
lose.
hello.
He's going to lose. He's gonna
So,
lose.
so we already know
I
that
know what he's about to say.
we already know that we're trading a max player for max player in KD and Tobias, but Tobias is not getting that deal done.
There's only one other player, TK.
There's only one other player gets that deal done.
Yeah.
No.
You
Yeah.
got to kiss Maxey goodbye.
Yep.
Damn it.
Now,
Wait,
Now-
for Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
I'll drive Maxie to the airport for KD.
with Tobias and
Yeah,
Okay.
get out.
see, I thought you would balk at that.
No,
I mean,
no.
there's a lot.
There's only a couple
you,
players
insane?
in this league that I would be willing to trade Maxie for. Kevin Durant's the best basketball player
Yeah,
on the
but
planet.
Maxey's still young.
Okay, yeah, but here, Joe.
Yeah, but your
Joe.
window to win is
Yeah, that's that. This
one
gets
and a
back to
half
this gets
to
back to my
4
three.
years.
This gets back to my three.
You should see this one over here when you watch.
This is
I
this
know his
listen,
faces.
Joe,
I
this
ain't
gets
worried
back
about him.
This gets back to my 3-year
He's-
thing. This
he's-
gets
He's
I
breathing.
see nothing.
I
know
feel him
nothing.
breathing.
yeah,
I feel him breathing.
This gets back to my 3-year thing.
I
The
feel him
story of the
breathing.
Sixers is not Maxey. Okay.
I get that.
Okay. The story of the Sixers is JoJo.
Yep.
And JoJo's window. All right. Would I want to see Maxey go? Hell no. I
Hell
love that
no.
kid. I love the absolute joy that kid plays the game with. It's joyful.
Yes.
It's joyful.
If you're telling me,
But if you can get KD,
you're telling me today you would not trade Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris for Kevin Durant?
No.
okay, I got to question your sports knowledge.
No, listen.
That's
I
a
understand.
difference.
I'm trading Tobias, but I'm not trading my
Not
upcoming
Kevin
starter.
Nash.
You can't build a team around Maxey. You can't build a team around him.
Whoa. See, this is amazing. I love it. I recall about 8 years ago, you're not going to win with Steph Curry. He's too small. Not you. I'm just saying. I've heard people say that. So when people make these definitive statements, my thing is,
Last time
Can
I
you-
checked, he has 4 rings.
yeah, can you give me a lottery number? And if I win, I'll give you $1 million. Like, or we'll never win with Embiid. Like these definitive statements. Max,
When's
So-
their next first round pick?
Okay. So, well, 2024.
yeah,
No.
you can't go back-to-back years without a first-round pick.
Okay.
Uh,
no.
right.
No.
That's true. 2023. You're right.
Brooklyn passed on this year's option for the first round pick.
Yes, sir.
The Sixers do not have a first round pick
Next
till
year.
2029.
2024.
That's
What?
That's no,
24.
no.
6
29.
years.
You can't do 2 years in a row without a
You
first-round pick.
cannot be serious.
No, it's 24.
I know, but
Oh.
you can't.
24.
But you can't go something about you can't go 2 years
It's
without a
back-to-back
first
years
No,
without a first round.
You can't trade them, but they've opted out of them.
No, they can't opt out of them.
They were saying today they don't have a first round pick for 6 years now.
No, that's
Yeah, that
I don't
Joel
know
said
how that-
he does. I don't.
that. I don't know how that's
What are we, the
logical.
Los Angeles Rams of basketball?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I mean, here's
No,
my,
yeah.
here's my feeling. So
Maxey.
all right, my
It's not gonna happen. By the way,
my
but it's a
counter to
conversation.
this offer is that I would trade Tobias and Thibault and a first
It
rounder.
ain't getting it done.
But
It ain't getting it done.
here's the reason why I say will. You're not going to put Maxey on that team because you already have a Ben Simmons, and they put a lot of stock into Ben. And in Maxey in 2 years, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money.
No, they
Now
said
we're co- now
they
we're-
said they're going to put Ben in the 4 on that team,
Now
so
what-
you can still bring Maxey on.
now which would have been cool is you would have waited and then Kyrie leaves and we still have
haven't-
Ben. Then you could have moved Ben a Thibault and you could
Yeah.
have done it.
I'm just telling you what I've heard.
I know. But haven't we already seen that experiment fail? Like, I mean, didn't
The
it
Ben Simmons experiment overall has failed.
right. But when we put him at the 4,
I know, but I'm just telling you what I heard,
Right.
you know, and
I heard
going.
the same thing.
We can only go.
Look,
we all can only go by what we hear. You know what I mean?
Cousin Sean Marks up there needs to take a little
Cousin
advice from
Sean
this
Marks.
Marks.
Swiss Mark.
So Joe, let me ask you a question. Would you trade Maxey and Tobias Harris for Kevin Durant?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Now there's
I have a reason.
there's
Those
maybe
are funky shorts, Frank.
4 people in the league.
Somebody needs to pick me up off the floor.
There's maybe
like
4.
those
Why?
shorts.
Because you
Those-
Joey agreed with
Yeah.
it.
Those-
Yeah, I know.
those-
I write
those-
dates.
those
I
are
have a
funky shorts.
reason,
I
but
like
go
those.
ahead.
I write dates and time down. There might be 4 people in this league that I would be willing to
But-
part with Maxey
Well,
for.
Hold on, TK, real quick. But when he said it, dude, he's in pain right now. But go ahead.
But because the reason I asked him that is because I know he can't say no to that straight face.
You can't. You
Well,
can't.
let me ask you something.
I couldn't. I had to think about it, and I had to like go over in my head all the options and everything like that. I don't want to lose Maxey, period. But Frank is correct. When this is the timeline for this team winning a championship
It's
is
JoJo.
not Tyrese Maxey's
It's
timeline.
JoJo.
It's
I-
Joel
I-
Embiid's
I-
And I
timeline.
understand what you're saying, Tom, but we already did that with James Harden. Excuse
Two
me.
totally
But why-
different players, James.
But I don't get the fact of the matter is that why we have to bring in another player that we don't know if he's going to be good. You know, I mean,
See-
I'm not saying Durant is good. He's fantastic. He's a great player.
He's all world.
Number 2 in the league.
but I'm
he's one of the
saying
best
this is like
basketball
the James
players.
Harden effect. And like, what if it happens again?
No, I don't
you
see
have
that
to
happening with
James,
KD.
you have to give yourself the best shot,
I
in my opinion. And I'm not.
totally agree.
And you're
All right,
entitled
let me
to yours.
let me ask Joe a question. Joe,
I'm not.
Joe,
pro
when you
or anti.
compare
for it.
when you look at the two players now,
Mhm.
arguably coming into the deal, Harden was still considered a top 5 player in the league. Correct? Okay.
Okay.
You would consider KD a top 5 player in the league.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Just on the surface, what would you consider the difference between those two players?
Harden's won it. I'm sorry. KD's won it. Harden hasn't.
No. I mean, as
Skill set?
as skill set as a player, when you look at those
KD
players,
doesn't miss. That's the difference.
no,
That's a
KD,
good point.
One's more
KD
versatile.
shows up
Here you
in
go.
big situations.
KD hates to miss.
Yeah.
He makes it.
KD plays angry.
He does.
KD plays like
So
Pete Rose played.
I want to
Okay.
go. I want to go
Good
back
point.
to
Harden doesn't.
I'll be honest with you. I would rather trade Harden for Durant.
That's not going to happen.
yeah.
But you can't do that. though.
So
I get it.
this
Yeah.
is where I'm going.
It's going to cost you Maxey.
And I said, with
Correct.
Tom kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit.
Can't always get what you want, right, Mick Jagger?
But you do get what you need.
Always get what you want.
That there are 4 players that in this league I trade away the house to pair or to put in a team with Harden and with Embiid.
Can I take a shot?
The 4th players,
At your 4?
yeah,
Is Steph Curry one?
yeah,
Is Kevin Durant one?
yeah.
LeBron's too old. He's not one, is he? Is he still one?
Yeah.
He's still one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's too old for me. Hold on.
We
The,
ain't trading
the
Maxey.
phone line is
And we
ringing.
ain't trading
Hold
Maxey
on,
for
hold on,
LeBron.
hold
That ain't happening.
on. The phone line is ringing. Hello. Who is this caller on the phone line?
Hi, this is Jessica from Instagram,
Oh my God.
and I want to know what Frank has the
No.
balls to call anybody crazy after what I just heard on your show.
Okay. So why? What do you? What now, Al? We know this is you. Well, are you this? Obviously, Al. I hope this is you.
This is Craig from Instagram.
No. So what? You're in disagreement with getting rid of Maxey?
It's not getting rid of Maxey. Can I ask how the powerhouse of Durant, Irving, and Harden worked out for the Nets?
18 games, right? 18 games out.
Yeah.
18 whole games.
Yeah.
So we think a broken down Durant's going to be better. We're already questioning the fact that James Harden is going to be viable this year, and nobody wants to sign him to any big deal because he's a shell of what he used to be. Okay, we're going to put Kevin Durant in and give up everything on him. Like I said, I get it. Now or never. But Tyrese Maxey for broken down Durant, who you're going to get another 18 goddamn games out. You're not going to get the full amount from him. And what has he done for me lately? And what has he shown anybody? I'm just saying, I don't even want to look at. Everybody wants to go like pickpocketing the Nets because they all want to leave. But what have they shown us lately?
So, in my opinion,
I
Kyrie,
get his point.
Kyrie's. I get what you're saying.
They went to the
Kyrie,
Eastern Conference Finals a year ago.
yep.
Yeah, we did
Kyrie's
that.
out of his mind.
Oh,
So
he's
there's
so nuts.
there's a ton that has to do with that. So you have one of the best players on the planet. Joey, he's not one, is he?
Now, so I want to take LeBron off. So now,
All right. Well, hold up.
So I'm taking LeBron off.
Give
so
me
you have
one
two
second. Give me
more.
1 second. I'll let you finish this. Then we have Al in the other room on the line. He could just come in and sit behind the mic. But so Kyrie has played spoiler on that team. Then you have a guy in Ben Simmons who didn't play literally a game last year.
The Brooklyn Bridge troll.
You know, injuries happen. I get that. The thing that I'm looking at, and I know you have to take into account the window of opportunity. The window of opportunity. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they took advantage of the window of opportunity. In October, when they brought in J.J., like they took advantage of the pieces that were around them. If this is obviously
They shot their
a
shot.
super hypothetical,
Oh my God!
with a guy like Kevin
Look,
Durant.
it's
shot
not
their
going to
shot.
happen.
They
It's
shot
not
their shot.
It's not going to happen. But they, the Sixers management has so squandered opportunities in the last 5, 6, 7 years that would have made this team better. That really, when you if you want to win with JoJo, there aren't many options left.
Right.
You know, I mean, there are no options left. And yes, that would be. I don't foresee it happening. Period.
Right.
You know, I can't. I see KD. If he wants to leave, he's going to go to a team that's better set up.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's my thing: is if you're going to get rid of Tyrese Maxey or any really key player like that, it has to be for somebody who I don't want to say is a guarantee, but who's not going to be. You know for sure Durant and Harden in some ways are no different. They're older guys who are past their prime who you can't trust to go later into a final series anymore. You just can't trust them. We saw it firsthand. I mean, you're pretty much telling me that if it was a reverse trade, if we sent Joel Embiid to the Brooklyn Nets instead of Ben Simmons and they kept all their pieces with Harden and everything else in place, that they would, that was all they were missing. So you're pretty much saying, well, we're just going to bring the Brooklyn Nets here. I don't see how it works.
Well, I mean, we have a general manager who's literally trying to bring every Houston Rocket that's ever played, trying to bring Olajuwon and Francis to the team right now at this point. So, I mean, something's got to give somewhere. I don't want to lose Tyrese Maxey, but if I have an opportunity.
It's not even just about losing Tyrese Maxey. If you're going to give up somebody like that, and here's my thing is I think people undervalue Maxey sometimes. Some people overvalue.
No, not now.
over here.
I don't
Not
know.
now.
Not
Not
me
now. And if you listen to draft night, Billis and even like what's his name? Basically he was saying that Maxey, if he was picked this year, would be a top 7 draft pick. I mean, this is a guy that like his value is not under anymore.
It's the Sixers' benefit. And then you know what? They dumb lucked into it.
Right.
It was the Sixers' benefit that they didn't have a field of 64 the year he was a senior.
Well,
Listen, it's just on the call this organization has, if you look at it, the Sixers had like I think 6 top 5 picks in the last decade, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
And 5 of them don't even exist anymore, barely exist anymore.
Right.
That's what's killed us. And I don't think getting rid of a guy with the energy of Tyrese Maxey, and for a guy who's 20 years his age, probably. I'm just exaggerating, but still, you go from a guy. The problem is you need something. You see how guys like him, even Embiid, who's in much better shape, it comes down to the finals. When you're getting into that late June finals run, even if you make it to the next round, you saw how the Celtics kind of injuries kind of crept up with them, and they couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Even when they were shutting down Steph Curry, they couldn't keep up. If you're going to take Tyrese Maxey, you need to go get you need to get two younger, energetic, better players. Kind of like we've heard about the Sacramento trade last year, like when they were talking about Simmons and all that, and Halliburton and all those guys coming together. I would have taken that trade in a heartbeat over Harden. Because the fact is, we could have Harden this year if we wanted him.
Yeah.
But my
I don't
point
want a
is,
watered down
I
product.
don't see giving a broken down Kevin Durant that kind of money. Forget Kyrie Irving. I don't think anybody wants that.
No.
Yeah.
That's where I
And,
thought Frank
you
was
know.
going.
No.
That's what I did.
No,
too.
no.
But
Well, good
Like-
show, guys. I'll talk to you later.
so the other two players, Tom, the other two players that I would mortgage the farm for.
John Morant.
No.
Okay. I know you have a love.
I know.
Go ahead.
Luka Doncic
Fair.
and Giannis.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
If you get either of those players, game over.
You know the problem with that? You couldn't get either of those players and keep JoJo on the team.
Nope.
It would have to be part of the deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. I
But
mean,
I'm
that's
saying-
Oh shit! Maybe you
that's a
make a
dream
three-way
sequence.
trade and get the Joker to come over too, since he wins MVPs
Oh,
over him all the
God.
time.
You mean the most valuable participant? No,
Mhm.
thank you.
the only MVP I ever know has to come off the game for defensive replacement.
We'd be back to playing 4-on-5 on one side of the
I
court.
know.
Oh, God.
All right. So a question popped up, and Dame, you haven't been in a while, and I wanted to ask you this question. It's more of a fun question. It's an NBA think NBA Jam.
Okay,
Think 2-on-2.
got you.
I had Matty B check in, and he told me I was out of my mind.
Okay. Matty B.
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen versus Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. Who wins?
Oh, I think I kind of remember this question one time.
Were you here when this was asked?
I think I was. Scottie Pippen, Jordan versus Kobe.
And Shaq.
You know what? Scottie and Michael won.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I said Kobe and Shaq because you're not going to be able to stop Shaq.
Yeah, but Mike's too savvy.
So's Kobe. They're
Kobe
the
can't
same
play.
player.
Kobe can't play outside, and Pippen will
Kobe-
rain on him all day.
Yeah, Kobe's savvy, but Mike's sneaky savvy. Michael Jordan's insane.
Can I throw another pairing out there?
He's not losing,
No, he's not.
so he's gonna do it. I got you.
But Kobe's the same guy. So you have two alphas that cancel each other out. Shaq can't defend on the perimeter, but Scottie couldn't stop him
But
down
I
low.
got a feeling Mike could cut you if he had to. Like I mean, you know what I mean? Not literally. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, so would Kobe though.
So with Kobe,
You know what?
They
They both bleeding to death.
they literally have the same DNA.
Yeah, they do.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
They
they
would
do.
almost cancel each other out. You know the dog in both of them.
Nah, yeah, you can't. That's
Is that Jimmy Butler's DNA too, by the way?
I'm gonna throw another.
What,
pairing out
Jordans?
there.
You heard
Jimmy
about that,
Butler-
right?
Jimmy Butler, listen, don't get me started.
You heard about that, right? That Jimmy Butler
it's
could
his
be
kid-
Michael
it's his
Jordan's
kid.
illegitimate child.
There's a rumor that Jim.
What?
That Butler-
There's
a
some
rumor
facts that
Butler's-
make it that
yeah.
it could be possible.
No.
Jordan,
You guys got to stay off social media, man. It's driving people crazy.
Joe, what other two would you like to interject in there? You're gonna go like
Oh,
hold on, let's see. Joey.
It was actually on
That
the radio.
aside,
Yeah, it's the other side. Yeah, it's kind of tough. No, I mean, listen, it would be good. They could actually. Well, no, unfortunately, he's not here. Dad, my bad. No, I was gonna say. I remember Dr. J and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did the thing. It was horrible. I heard. They did a pay-per-view. Remember that, Frank?
Yeah, I did.
Down in
Yeah.
Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Dr. J and Kareem
Yeah.
Abdul-Jabbar.
1-on-1.
How would you like to see like
Yeah.
Dr. J and Moses thrown into that mix?
Joe, who's your other two?
Stephen and Clay.
Ooh, against
I was
who?
gonna say
Against
that.
who?
Oh, ain't it pick?
This sounds like a video game we should create.
Stephen and Clay
You
against
can
who?
create this.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: they're
You
just
can
gonna shoot.
create this.
They're just
mean,
gonna shoot,
but
and
who
they'll
they-
already
but who
be.
they-
We need to take
Al,
this off
we
the.
can create this.
We need to take this off the air right now.
No, we can do it on the air. We have the capability to stream
No,
live.
he doesn't
I'm-
want
I'm
people
not-
taking our
I don't,
idea.
want, I don't want the intellectual property to disappear. I want to create the game.
They already created NBA Jam.
So I texted my buddy as a joke yesterday. I said it's a 3-team trade. This actually is 2 days ago before the draft, and I said Matisse in the first round pick went to Chicago, for, and then Zach LaVine goes to was it the Warriors, and then Klay Thompson came to the Sixers.
Yeah.
And so he didn't hit me back.
I can understand why.
I called him. I go, did you get my text? He goes, yeah, I read it. He goes, I said, no. It was a bomb. What was just, it's just real rap. So he goes, you guys got Klay Thompson. I said, we got Klay Thompson. It's going to be crazy. But then after a while, it came clean.
Why'd you do your friend like that, man?
Because he's a Sixer hater. He told me that, and listen, he told me that, and I'm just off of what Al said. He told me that Harden was garbage. And I said to him, he's a LeBron fan. He wherever LeBron, I'm a LeBron.
Well, he knows Harden's not garbage.
So I said to him, did LeBron make the playoffs? He goes, no. I said, well, LeBron James is garbage. Now, I did say this. I said I would be a fool to call LeBron James garbage.
Yep.
He's one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Yep.
But I only said that because you're saying that Harden is garbage. So here's what I said to Cuz with Harden. I recall when LeBron went to Miami, those first 30 games, they were barely over 500. That team. Right?
Yeah.
It took
And
a
they
while.
blamed Boss for a lot of that.
Right.
too.
They blamed Bosh. They started even blaming Wade a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it worked itself out, and the rest is history. So I said, yeah, we were all hyped as we should have been when Harden arrived. But a part of me was like, it's going to take a little while. One, because he's never played with a guy like Embiid. Embiid never played with a guy like him. And then someone else made a point. He was clearly trying to get everybody involved.
Yeah.
So I don't think he lost. He may not be the Harden in Houston. We can agree with that. The age, he can't be Father Time. But to say he lost a whole skill set, that's like saying, I said to Cuz, like Denzel can't act.
I'm on the same page with you.
Or Sean Penn can't act anymore, right?
I'm on the
Or
same
Meryl
page with
Streep
you.
can't act. No, they're phenomenal. They're great. So I think he has the savvy and the smarts enough to figure out, Joe, where'd you like the ball? And in this moment, I think that's what they're going to be working.
Yeah, well, I mean, now you don't have 26 games. Now you have an entire offseason and then an entire preseason and then hopefully an entire season.
Yeah, and we're back onto schedule, like back onto the regular schedule for the NBA. And like that,
Right.
That's the big thing is
That's
it's
an
not
excellent point.
shortened or anything else.
So that affects people's rhythm coming off the bubble and then starting the season when they did last year and then going right in, right? So now here's the key for me. Frank's favorite coach, and I've been supporting him, but you have to change a little bit. In order for this team to have success, you have to play the young guys. That means Paul Reed.
Yep.
That means Bassey and Isaiah Joe. If Isaiah Joe goes 2 for 10 one game, still play him.
You think Springer loses out?
I'm hearing he can play, but the thing is,
You don't
know.
You got a coach. You have to have a coach willing to play him.
And that's what made Miami successful. They played their young guys. I mean,
Because they had no choice.
But we were forced to play these guys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let these guys stretch out, as they say in baseball. They're stretching the pitcher out. Let them stretch out through the regular season. So by playoff, listen, Paul Reed held his own in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh,
For
he didn't
sure.
play bad.
Who's to say Isaiah Joe
can't do the same thing?
Yeah, you need one or two games. I talked about this from those bench guys.
Well, we know Korkmaz can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. You can sit him down. You let Isaiah Joe get the run.
You literally tell these guys your job is on the line, and let it be that.
Right.
Yeah, like that's where I'm at. But on a side note, Frank, I will tip my hat to your alma mater for getting a kid drafted. Roman Catholic.
Don't you dare tip
Jalen Dorn, now Detroit Piston.
Yeah,
He'll go into a relevancy like every other
once
Detroit
they're out
Piston.
Once they're out of high school and they get into college, any kid coming out of Philly is a success for us.
Yeah.
Any kid coming out of Philly. I mean, when they're in high school, it's different. We're rah-rah for our guys. But when they come out of Philly and they do well, it reflects well on the Philadelphia basketball product.
Yeah.
Which is excellent. And always has been.
Yeah. And I won't disagree with that. But to get back to what Dame was saying about Harden, my feeling is this. About a year or so ago, when Golden State was kind of tanking because of Clay's injury and some of the missing parts that they had.
Did they shut stuff down? They shut them down at one point, didn't they?
Yeah.
But
you know what was talked about prior to the shutdown is Steph doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah. I remember that.
I remember that. You're quick to say somebody doesn't have it.
So you're saying the guy doesn't have any, just won Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, I called the 40-point game to my buddy. I told him that night that Steph's going to drop 40, drop 43.
Same.
Could you not?
Has Steph Curry Surpassed LeBron James.
Okay, great. I'm glad you asked
We
this
asked
question.
this last week, and I knew I was going to wait until you came. I was going to ask it again when you got here.
Here's where I'm about the rankings. I'm out of the ranking game.
I'll get out of here with that.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you why.
Take a position, Dave.
When JoJo wins, we're winning the championship next year. That's it. Said it. I'm done. Sixers are going to win.
You've been getting dressed in my man's closet, haven't you? With ridiculous stuff.
No, dude. It's a feeling. I'm rocking with it.
This is why he sits next to me, Frank.
It's my feeling, and you can't take it away from me. No. Just say Joe goes on to win a championship, wins the next 2 out of 3 years, they're gonna put him up in the top 5, right? So it's a constant movement with them.
No.
Yeah, they would.
Joel Embiid, that would be 2 rings, and the body of work is still too small.
But they will find a way to put him in the top 10 of all time conversation.
Well, they would do it because there hasn't been a big man like him since Shaq.
And it's understandable. So for me, I'm listening to people, oh, Steph's in the top 5, and I'm going, Steph's one of my favorite players, hands down. Now, my favorite all-time greatest shooters I ever seen, Steph Curry, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Larry Bird, and Andrew Toney. I'm talking about pure net.
Shooter.
Like, you know what I mean? Those are the best jump shooters I've ever seen.
Al
in my
Houston
life.
was
George
up there for
Gervin
me,
was
too.
one of the best I've ever
Al
seen.
Houston was, but these dudes were like
they're next level,
Killers.
obviously.
yeah, these are killers.
Dude, I used to love watching
George
Reggie Miller.
Gervin was one of the best pure shooters I ever saw in my life.
And yeah.
There's a
I
reason why.
I would love watching Reggie Miller just look at Spike
Oh,
Lee
God,
after
Reggie
he made
Miller,
a big three.
Every time he put the ball in his hand, I felt the dagger in my heart.
Yeah.
Every time he did it.
I seen Larry Bird shoot with his eyes closed.
Oh yeah, Larry Bird was a
Are you
nightmare.
kidding me?
Larry Bird was a nightmare.
I'll never forget.
I'm not even a Celtics fan, but I'm offended when people Bird couldn't play in this era. I'm like, what are
I'll
you
take Bird.
talking
I'll
about?
take Bird as prime on his team.
I got to play out with a mixer for the
I
Sixers.
would
speaking of
take
which,
him
right
in
now.
a heartbeat to him for Tobias Harris.
So to answer your question, I don't do the top 5. I can't. Because
It's no fun for sports.
because it becomes an argument. It's
Yeah, well, that's the whole point.
Like Dr. J is always going to be in my top 5, but people,
Absolutely.
what are you talking about, Doctor? Okay, fine, but it's my top 5.
Yeah, I know, but you can go favorites and then who you think are the actual.
Because if I go on error, right, I'm still trying to figure out how people putting LeBron past Kobe. I haven't gotten past that yet.
See, this is
I
what
totally agree with that.
I
don't think
I'm
LeBron
like-
is past Kobe.
So they're like LeBron. It goes. I said, what?
this is the argument, and this is
So I
what I
can't even get
And Kobe was nipping at Michael's heels.
whenever this argument kind of occurs within sports, regardless if it's basketball or whatever sport, I always say, what do you judge greatness by? Do you judge it by stats or by chips? Championships.
It's got to be a combination of two. The issue is that combination is so subjective to each individual person as the
Well, that's
percentage,
what makes-
as
that's
the
what makes-
percentage in which you would
That's
give.
what makes this argument
then-
happen all the
right.
time.
So then keep
You know,
this
'cause
in mind. Then if Jokic, because he just won back-to-back MVPs, if he wins 1 or 2 championships, then he has to be in the conversation. If it's you're comparing both.
The difference with that is and this is no knock on Jokic, he's a terrific player, but he's one-sided player. When you look at the games, like, okay, we talk about Reggie Miller. He's in like, it's funny, a lot of guys are going to the Hall of Fame. I'm like, really? I'm saying Reggie deserved to go in. He definitely deserved to go in. But there's some guys I'm like, how did he get in? But when you talk about the greats, right? It's like, how did they change the game? My uncle saw Wilt play. I didn't.
I saw Will play.
You saw Wilt play. Big Joe saw Wilt play.
Yeah.
I saw Kareem play. They don't even talk about Kareem. He has a shot that no one's ever duplicated before, and he's still an all-time leading, scoring leader. Last I checked, and by the way, he's won as many rings as Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about it. But I know what that's about. That's a political thing. That's
I was
why
going
he's
to
not
say,
talked about.
he's an all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, but they don't give him the recognition.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
right.
people
He
say
really doesn't.
talk about
If you have as many rings as Jordan and more points than anybody else, you should be talked about. You're right.
And he did the movies. He did,
I still think
Game of Death
I
with
still
Bruce
think you're
Lee.
selling out on me though by not putting.
Okay,
it top five.
so top 5. But current top 5. Yes, I could put Steph in current era top 5.
Wait, would you put now? You have a bias towards Steph.
No, I'm a Steph fan. That's what
I know.
That's what I do.
I mean, you're a Steph fan.
He's a Curry.
So you
He's a
have a
Curry.
bias.
No, but I have a
but
bias. Not what's ever. So this is the sports.
against people around him. I mean, you're a fan of Steph, so you would be more inclined to lean towards him than other people, maybe. So
you saying
Steph LeBron, who's better all time?
Oh, well, LeBron probably a little bit more
Okay,
because he does more.
Okay.
It just does. I mean, it's like somebody asked me, "Am I going to take LeBron or AI?" Like, you talking size now. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
so I had this argument with my brother-in-law 5 years ago. He thought Steph was better than AI, and I go, I don't compare greatness. I know it sounds like a cop out,
Does.
but it's like it's my theory. So I always say,
You say it does. It is.
well, so
It sure is.
no, that's fair. I say Michael Jackson's the greatest entertainer of all time, but Stevie Wonder's a musical genius.
Hell yeah.
So I don't compare the
What
two.
about Paul McCartney?
What about John Lennon? Here we go.
I know some people frown on the Beatles.
Tangent.
I don't.
Rails show.
I know some people frown on the Beatles, but that's another conversation.
Here we go.
But I'm
Right,
talking
yeah.
about, but when it comes to greatness, me personally, I'm like, once you're great, you're great.
Yeah.
That's just my philosophy.
Yeah, you're in a different
I
strategy.
say
You're correct.
because I can't seem because once you change the game, like so let's take Dr. J for instance. For me, Dr. J was a superhero, right? I thought he could fly, he was everywhere,
He
right?
could fly.
And so he did all these things. However, he won one championship, but he was there every year, right?
So I'm gonna touch on what you're saying.
But he caused a merger between two leagues that no
Yeah.
one's ever done before.
So
and brought other teams over. So he changed the game.
this is why
Yes, he
I'm
did.
going to touch
Yes, he
on
did.
this with Stefan is because you said it matters when players change the game. And I feel like Stefan has definitely changed the game
Right.
because if you look at like a Trey Young and a guy like John
Oh,
Moran,
yeah. They definitely copying him.
it's a copycat league.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now we're leaning more towards those versatile point guard, 3-point blazers.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why there's logo Lillard.
Yeah.
And so
No, he definitely.
that's the thing is he's a trendsetter
Yeah.
in that regard. And for me, I said this last week is that him being 34 and LeBron being 38, my feeling is he's going to win more rings in the long haul than LeBron will, even if he wins one more in the next 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and that lineup, that team is not getting broken up anytime soon.
Well, they got another year. After that, contracts are going to hit the table.
I
Because
see.
Poole is up,
Yeah,
Clay is up.
but Clay's
Tell me if I'm
staying.
wrong, Frank. I think Steph might even be up.
Clay's not.
Draymond's going to be
They
up.
don't have enough Brinks truck for second.
I seen this, and I know you.
I think they have a
They
1
do.
year.
They would have to get the Pat Mahomes.
I think they have 1 year
Yeah.
left together.
I know you tell me to stay away from social media, but
No, it's all good.
I seen this painting that someone painted the other day, and it was the Bulls dynasty versus the now Golden State dynasty. They had player on
Yeah.
player.
Bulls team is still crushing.
They had
I don't mean to
player on
cut you off,
player
man.
like
Go
Matt.
ahead.
So you had Pippen D'ing up Durant. You had Jordan on Steph. You had I thought they have Harper on Clay. I think it was Harper. But then you had Kerr on the court and on the bench
Yeah.
as
Oh
a
my
coach.
Wow, that's dope.
So
That is,
But
that's,
who-
that's
it's-
crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
it was really cool to see.
I mean,
I would pay to see Draymond versus Rodman.
yeah, and that's another one that was on there.
that-
Draymond versus Rodman.
that's a pay
That's a-
moment.
That's a pay-per-view moment.
That's a pay-per-view
Yeah,
moment.
that's like WrestleMania. I mean,
Yes.
Rodman was already a
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Or do you throw in Luke? Do you throw in Luke Longley or do you throw in Cartwright?
I Cartwright.
You take
Yeah,
Cartwright.
I got
Yeah.
Cartwright.
You take Cartwright to play against Draymond because Draymond will eat Luke Longley up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And speaking
No,
of which,
no, you
Luke
got to go
Longley owes
Rodman.
Michael Jordan a few
Mm.
million because Luke Longley got a nice contract with the Phoenix Suns
Yeah.
after he left. And we signed
Coach.
we traded for we signed Stacy who was the
Ogman.
who was the Bulls guy we signed? I see his face too. I gotta Google him. He came off that Bulls championship team. Sixers signed him. We had Michael Cage then. All those it was a bad Sixers team.
It's a bad. Yeah, but
I know we're going off the rails. I got understand. But so to answer it, so in terms of greatness, it's going to go by era. In the next 5 years, it'll be John Morant will be brought up in the conversation. Tyrese Maxey, we win or 1 or 2 or 3, he'll be brought up in the
Oh God,
conversation.
yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
How
So
can you say 2 or 3 without? You got to get through one. They got to get through the second round
We're gonna
before you
win.
can say 1 or 2 or 3.
here's why we're going to win. And I got a guy for you to sign to bring in. Just come off the bench, do what you do. I'll take him before I take
go ahead. I think I know who this could be.
Carmelo Anthony.
Oh,
I'll bring Carmelo in, come off the bench,
Ah.
give you 5 minutes, 10 minutes a game, shoot your threes.
Therein lies a great perspective.
That's That's interesting.
That is
interesting.
That's-
Bring
astoundingly
Carmelo here.
interesting.
That's-
All you got to
Is he a
do.
free agent?
Yes, he is.
Come on in. Get a little bit
Yep.
of this.
And
Shoot
guess
your
what?
threes.
Give us 8 minutes a game.
Give him 8 to 10, depending on the night.
And he
That's all
has
you gotta
said,
do.
and he has said he wants to go to a contender.
That'd
That's
be
what
perfect.
he wants.
That would be a nice bench piece.
And
If you're not going to use
I'm
him
just
to
happy
count
that
on
we're
also-
still considered contenders.
Oh, sure we are.
We're top 4,
You look,
dude.
you got
You're the top-
JoJo.
you're top 4 in
You're
the
the
East.
Buffalo Bills of the second round
No,
right
you're
now.
top 4 in the East. You still got to
yeah, but at least
you're
the
the
Buffalo
Buffalo-
Bills win.
Right, you're the Buffalo Bills of the second round of the playoffs. The
Jim
last
Kelly's in the Hall of Fame,
4
right?
years.
No,
right.
this is
Okay, well, yeah.
Thurman,
No,
how
Thomas
many
is
and how
too.
many wins does he have for his franchise? How many Super Bowls does he have for his
No,
franchise?
Okay,
you're
but
not
it does
wrong.
go
You're
to-
correct.
but
Doesn't change the fact
But
that
as
they
long
were a
as we're
good
still in
team.
the top
A great
4,
team.
Oh yeah,
as long as we're still top 4, we have a shot.
Yeah.
But-
There's the top 4 teams:
They're-
Eagles, Sixers,
see, they were a great team, but they didn't have a
Boston.
parade.
Miami, and
I understand that. I understand that.
I said this on the ride up,
Milwaukee.
and this is what worries me. So Kemba is going to want to
He's
be
going to buy
buy
out.
out.
He's going to be the buyout.
So
I don't want him.
he's going to want to buy out, and then you're going to have Kyrie that's going to be on the move. So you're going to have two guys, even though they're knuckleheads, they're talented players.
Talented
I worry
knuckleheads.
about what teams they may land on that might
Right,
make
we go
this
around.
like really super team and make it more dangerous for the East. I mean, think about them on like a Cleveland. Think about them on like a, you know, an
Oh,
Orlando.
I have a video of Kemba. Real quick.
Clarence Shippen knocks down 2 in a row, and the Raiders lead only by 20 with 20 seconds to go. So Serrano making things happen for the Aces, and they trail only by 20.
Dave Yarno
Dave Yarno for 3.
Oh.
That's a
I was like,
I was.
Did you see
that
that
pass. That was a
Castellanos
perfect
was
pass.
wearing a Kobe jersey?
I heard about that. Yeah.
A Lower Marion Kobe jersey the other night
I did not
for
see that.
for
Yeah,
catching.
it's-
He was shagging balls in the outfield in a Kobe jersey.
But listen, we could do this conversation could go on for hours,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I got
yeah,
some
let's
stuff
wrap.
I got to get to today. I know Al wants to talk to some of the boys on the show here too. So we are going to wrap this today. So for James Scores of Joe Marks, Frank Finnegan, Damon Salim, and Dave Yarnell, who's not here.
Davey
Joe
Dave.
Scores over
Who
there.
I threw
and
under the
Al
bus
Safari.
last week.
I'm Tom Kelly. This is the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show, and we're out of here.
All right.
Later.